What's going on, everyone? We've had some crazy volatility in the markets recently, which has led to some great runners for myself and for several other traders. So I thought that I would make a video surrounding runners, how I manage them, and how I think uh, are the best ways to manage them for the most profits possible. So without further ado, let's take a look at some of the live trades that I took and how I managed my runners over the past 3 trading sessions. So let's get into it. Now, in this first trade that we're going to look at, what I saw was a continuation of a second entry long with a higher low. So we had a new high here, we had a first leg down, first entry long, another leg down, second entry long, followed by a higher low confirming that bullish momentum. And once I see prices continue to rocket up after my scalp, I do have a automatic automated strategy in place where my sell stop goes 1 tick above where I bought, so I get at least a quarter of a point in the futures market, which equates to a quarter of $50, so it's $12.50 per contract. Right now I have 2 contracts as a runner, and once prices keep going up, I like to trail the stop 1 tick below any swing low. So we have a swing low here, and once the next bar breaks above a swing low is when I like to trail my stop above the swing low. So now we didn't have a trigger above that initial low. So if we trigger above this bar, then I would raise my sell stop to 1 tick below that bar. Now in this case, because I saw that we had a break and a new high of this uptrend, I actually didn't let prices come back and take out my sell stop, and I just locked in about 7 points of profit. So 7 points times 2 contracts is about $700, which I'll take any day. In this case, prices actually did end up going higher and higher, but I learned that sometimes it's better just to take your profits and run. So let's move on to the next trade. This trade, what I was looking at is that we were in an overall uptrend, as well as having several touches at this area, along with a bounce at the midline, confirming the trend channel that we were in. And even though we were in a bit of congestion just in terms of the stacked bars, I knew that this quadruple test kind of confirmed the 2-legged pullback that we're in. So we had a new high here, first entry long, second pullback, and which is why the trade worked for much more than just a scalp. In this case, I had the same method in place, my same automated strategy, went to 1 tick above where I bought immediately once the scalp was made. And in this case, the runner wasn't very large, but I just want to show you guys what I look for, and this allows for the largest runners possible when they do happen. Obviously, it doesn't happen all the time, but I found that trailing the stop loss 1 tick below the swing low only when the next bar breaks above allows for the largest runners possible. So you'll see as soon as the next bar breaks above the swing low, the bar of the swing low, which is when I will then trail the sell stop, which I did right there. We ended up coming back and just having a couple points for a runner, 4 points to be exact. But by doing this and not trailing the sell stop between or before every single bar, it allows for the larger runners to really take action when they do happen. All right, let's go on to the next one. And in this trade, we'll see that I did end up getting a very, very nice runner because I employed all of the methods that I've been talking about. So once the scalp is made, my automated strategy automatically goes to 1 tick above my entry point, and it's not until my swing lows where I trail the sell stop. I don't want to just tighten it behind every single bar like some people do, because that doesn't allow for the large runners to actually come to fruition. So in this case, I waited for the bars to come back, and it's not until the next bar breaks above where I trail it, and I just have a calm mind. I wait for prices to do what they need to do, and it's not until prices come back where I usually take my profits. In some cases, when I feel like the strong trend is over, then I might take some profits. But in this case, because all of the trend channel rules were still being followed, we're bouncing off the bottom side very nicely. I knew that we really had potential to reach the top side of this trading channel. So I didn't want to tighten the stop loss behind every single bar, because prices could pull back at any time. I really like to have my sell stop preferably below the EMA, but in this case, because I had prices just kind of lagging and stacking up, I decided to trail my sell stop a little bit closely, and I ended up getting about a 6-point runner. Let's go on to the next runner now. In this trade, it might seem like there's no way that a runner could even happen, because look at all the prices being congested. But as we will see in a second, this actually led to one of the largest runners that we're going to go over, if not the largest one. I'm not exactly sure how many points it led to, but I know that it rocketed up. Like, the momentum shift just completely changed once the scalp was made. And that's just because so many other traders are buying at the same points as me, because they're seeing prices being stacked, and overall we're coming from the bottom side of the trading range, and we're looking to reach the top side of the trading range. Even though prices look like they're congested, we had a failed breakout, and the failed breakout was confirmed with this higher low. And once we reach the scalp, we'll see in a second that prices just kept going up and up and up. And once again, we have a pullback, and once the next bar breaks above that one, I ended up trailing my sell stop. And at this point, I always want to draw my trend channel and my midline to see what exactly is happening. And in this case, once I put the midline in, we can see that not only did we bounce off the previous resistance, but this midline is in play, confirming that this trend channel is valid. Look how prices exactly bounce where the midline is, and that just goes to show that to myself, okay, I'm in the right trade. I don't want to take profits just yet, because prices are still reacting to the trend channel. And in this case, we actually ended up overshooting the channel. So prices do have the potential to pull back. But once again, we had a slight pullback. I trailed my sell stop, and prices kept going up and up and up. So now we have another pullback, and we're still in a new sort of trend channel, and I adjusted it because this one fits more nicely. We have 1 touch, 2 touches, 3 touches, a 4th touch confirming it on the bottom side, as well as several touches on the top side. And once prices continue to move forward, I want to lock in those profits. And once again, we're waiting for prices to potentially reach the top side of the trading range, and we'll see how many points I ended up getting. But you can see that prices continue to bounce off this trend line, signaling that we're just looking to make more money as prices keep going up and up and up. Eventually, we ended up taking about 15 points with the runner. Let's see if the next bar breaks above this one. And I ended up just taking my profits because we reached the top side of the trading range, and that's kind of an example of what I was going over. If I just have a gut feeling where I feel like prices are going to start reversing, in this case, because we reached the top side of the trading range and we had already moved about 20 points, I was happy taking my $2,000 profit right there. And after the trade we just went over, we can see how powerful these trades really can be. Even though we're just looking for scalps, because these trades are of such high probability and so many other traders are looking at these same techniques, these same patterns, we just have to stay patient and let the runners come to us, and eventually we'll get a nice one just like that. In this case, uh, we're always going to do the same method. We're always going to trail our um, runners once we have a pullback, and sometimes we're going to be able to have such a big move, but unfortunately not take the majority of the move like we did in the last case. But nevertheless, most of the time, we will end up getting the majority of the move just by trailing the sell stop once every pullback happens. So here, as we see, if I had that gut feeling to just take my profits at the end of the trading range, maybe I should have done that. I would have been able to lock more profits in. But in this case, I was confident that we were at least going to test this low again. We didn't end up having another pullback for me to trail my stop loss even more. So I did miss on a bunch of profits because prices ended up just coming back and taking my sell stop out, which is unfortunate to see. So it's a give and take about taking profits when you think the trend is over, but also allowing for your runners to have some breathing room. Unfortunately, we didn't end up getting a massive runner in this case, and we left a lot of money on the table, but I just want to show you guys both sides of the token, and that's going to wrap up the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys had some educational content. Peace.